Inside the Birds is back. What's up, everybody? It's Geoff, Mosher, and Adam Caplan inside the Birds here as we preview what will be, I think, an exciting, I hope that it's an exciting game between the Eagles and the Saints on Sunday at the Link. Exciting because we now have a quarterback change and new blood here with Jalen Hurts making his starting debut. Certainly something that neither Adam nor I saw happening way back in April or even August. I mean, who would have thought?
Never in a million.
Thought we'd be here.
Shocked. I wasn't shocked Monday. We told you on our Monday show we were expecting that to happen, but I never thought, Geoff, to start the season. Heck, let's go to September.
Yeah,
we correctly predicted the Jalen Hurts package. Although I would disagree with the use of two plays per game was absurd. I never understood the way that Pederson used him. I suggested weeks ago they should have done a series.
Mm-hmm.
That probably would have helped him for the start, just to get used to. Because you remember in the last game, they pulled Wentz after a series in the third quarter. I didn't understand that. I would have given him the full half. But anyway, I'm happy to see this, just because Wentz needs to take a step back, which I expect.
Right,
will be for the final four games, barring something unforeseen. Pederson won't concede that. I get it, but we're going to see Hurts for the foreseeable future. I'm looking forward to it. Two running quarterbacks. This is going to be fun. I love the unknown because no one knows what's going to happen.
Exactly. We are going to break this game down in even more, comprehensively. On Sunday, as we always do, we'll have our Inside the Birds pregame live show from Trey's place, Pino's Palette in Cherry Hill. It'll be yourself, myself, Trey Thomas, and Greg Cosell. But we're going to start the show, even though it's a 4:25 game, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
We're going to start at 10 a.m. In fact, all of our shows from here on out are going to be 10 a.m. to let everybody out there know. We just think it's better to do it in the morning when people are watching their shows. Get as much Inside the Birds early, and then go enjoy your 1 o'clock football. So if you're used to seeing us 3 hours before kickoff, just know that on Sunday and from here on out, we're going to be doing our show at 10 a.m. And, of course, it's on the Inside the Birds YouTube channel, the Inside the Birds Facebook page, and the Inside the Birds Twitter account at Inside Birds. You can find all of our most recent shows. We had a very good interview the other day with Greg Cosell, who will be more comprehensive on Sunday, but Adam and I wanted to get him real quickly during the week on Jalen Hurts once Hurts was named the starter. Yeah, and he had good
15-minute interview. 15-minute interview, folks. Get you in and out. As soon as you're done your coffee, it'll be over. Yeah, we told Greg, hey, listen, could you give us 15 to 20 minutes? Because he's producing the matchup show. He doesn't have a lot of time. All we wanted is him to break down Hurts' tape. It's funny. People think like when Greg's critical, I think they go in thinking he's going to say one thing and they don't get what they want to hear, so they're critical of Greg.
Mm-hmm.
Greg just goes by his tape study. He has nothing against Jalen Hurts.
That's right. As Greg always says, it's not his opinion. It's just what the tape says.
Tape tells him it. It's not even worth discussing how wrong people are about Greg, but it's not worth my time because people have preconceived notions or they have an agenda, and it's not worth it. So it is what it. Just listen to what he has to say for a minute.
And I would say that the feedback we get from our viewers about Greg has been unbelievable. They love him on our show.
Oh, they love him, but I stumbled on some comments on YouTube, and they were so off. It's not even remotely close. I don't comment on that stuff. I just on there. I mean, I'll say it on our show. I mean, I'm as a friend of Greg's, I'm insulted by some of the stuff. It's so wrong. It's one thing if you say he said this and you have something to back it up. When you make stuff up about somebody, it's just it's insulting.
Welcome to social media 2020.
Exactly right. And that was my that was what I was thinking. I'm like, once again, this is social media. This is what you get. People just they could say whatever they want because they're not put to the fire because it's. They'll say things they'll never say to your face. It's just the way it is. But I digress.
Speaking of a YouTube commenter, did you see the person who said that I look like DJ Khaled without the beard?
Oh, I thought that was me.
I thought it was me.
Well, I hadn't shaved for like a week or something. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm
pretty sure he was talking about me, but okay.
But first time I look at those comments in about 6 weeks, because what I'm doing is I'm trying to get all the porn spam off. And on the software, Jeff and I have special software. We could go in I don't know if you noticed that, Geoff. We could actually go and remove comments. I won't do that.
Yeah, I do it
occasionally. Say whatever they want, but the porn spam, I wanted to get off. And the crazy thing, I don't know how this works. Like these bots, these porn bots, it's unbelievable how they get this shit on there.
It is.
But I remove it immediately, man. Once you put the show up, because we all subscribe, I go right in. I swear to God, within 5 minutes, the porn bots put shit up there.
So you mean that person who's asking me if I'm single all the time is just a bot? I'm shocked to find this out.
Oh my God, yeah.
I thought that they just really thought I looked like DJ Khaled and wanted
me. Right. So I happen to see. I'm like, what is this stuff? Like, what? It's I'm trying to clean up for it because people want. I got an email about a month ago about me cursing. Kids watch. I never forwarded you that. I should have forwarded it to you. I said, listen, I always feel squeamish. But I'd read up before we get started here. I just sometimes we digress a little bit. We're getting started like 30
I think people
seconds,
like it when we do. It's okay.
Well, I read up on podcasting. Like when we first started, I wouldn't talk about anything other than our football stuff. And then it tells you should talk about personal stuff. I'm like, I don't think it's right because when I do our stuff on Sirius on the NFL channel, all we talk is strictly X's and O's, scoops, information. That's it.
Right.
And then, I'm reading up because podcasting's a new medium. Plus it's not like 25-minute show. You're talking.
Yeah.
People say, yeah, you should get this way. People connect with you.
Yeah.
So
I think that you got to know your audience, and I think most people listen to Inside the Birds. They want Eagles news, and we give that. I think if we were to be 50-50 Eagles news and what's going on in the lives of Adam Kaplan and Mosher, it wouldn't be good because we're boring. Right. To be honest with you, we're boring. I'm very boring.
Right. People know us already, but I just reading up on it. There's a way to connect with people, and when Geoff told me to curse, I was like, I can't do it, and you kept coaching me to do it because you're like, man, you're passionate.
Bad guy, Adam.
What's that?
You're making me sound like a bad guy.
Yeah, no. But John Barcher did. Our friend from he used to be with WIP, who now is running his own. I guess like a podcasting company or something like that.
Yeah. Last Out Media.
Who used to be with Go Birds and. John, I heard John do it on his shows, and I was like, I'm just not comfortable with it. And then you explained to me why it shows your passion. And then I was like, all right, I'll try it. And then the one thing when I went off on the internet scouts, people loved it. In fact, Crossing Broad wrote about it. And I'm like, no, they didn't. I was embarrassed. I'm like, this is not good for me. This is not good. But
I'm sorry.
People loved it. I'm like, all right. And you did last show.
Maybe we'll get the bleep button.
No, because it's podcasting. You're supposed to.
But it would be funny if you all of a sudden were going, the bleep, the bleep, the bleep, the bleep.
That's funny, I know. In Sirius, in our first year, we were allowed to, but don't do it a lot, and then they curbed it. Of course, unless you're Howard Stern. But I just wanted to. I saw some stuff on YouTube, and I got a chuckle out of some of it. No, you're right. People love Greg, but some people think it's personal when you're not positive about some of your favorite players or whatever the case is, and.
Right.
I've known this guy for, 17 or 18 years. It's never been personal. He strictly goes by the tape. He goes, this is what the tape shows me from college. This is what the player is right now. It doesn't mean with better coaching where the player plays a certain way, it could be a running back, quarterback, or whatever. You have to have an opinion based on tape study.
Absolutely.
It's not even going to be what you want to hear. Okay,
or else I get it. Be in the business. That's correct. Right. All right, so let's talk about the Eagles' injuries. I find it incredibly coincidental that both Alshon Jeffrey and Jason Peters, two guys who we've been wondering at different points of the season why they're even on the field, are both perhaps questionable to play this game. We'll have to wait until the final report comes out. But, Alshon is dealing with a calf. He was full.
He should play. He should play.
He should be available to play. Let's
right. Well, here's the thing. Again, we don't know what the hell his role is because everything – we keep getting thrown these curveballs with roles.
Mm-hmm.
We knew Jordan – we had a pretty good idea Jordan Howard was going to play. He did early in the game, and then they got behind, so they didn't use him. But Alshon Jeffrey playing more than Fulgham, we need to find out what the hell's going on here. This is just yet another odd situation. You could say it's contract. I wouldn't disagree with you. But what sense does that make with the guys not going to be on the field for this football team? There's less than zero who'll be with the team next year. So what are you doing?
I don't know. You're preaching to the choir on this, and I've been saying it for weeks, and I'm actually tired of even talking about him. So we'll see if he plays. Yep. Jason Peters has the toe. Now, he's a little bit more, I guess, understandable. I mean, he's playing with a broken toe.
So it can be hard.
He came out of the game. I still think Nick Herbert should just play because he's younger and more developmental, but I guess we'll have to see. What was his stat? He did not practice on Thursday. So
he didn't. Yeah. So later today, Peters will have a chance. If he doesn't get out there, I would fully expect someone else to play. But if he could be limited, he'll have a chance. Fletcher Cox, he's got this lingering neck injury, but he'll play. He practiced Thursday.
Yeah.
Then there was one that came out of the blue, Derek Barnett with a pelvic injury.
Always makes me wince when I see pelvis used in.
Exactly. For us men, yes.
Yeah.
He was limited in Thursday. We'll see what he does later today. TJ Edwards, they say he's playing, but he hasn't worked yet. Here's a problem here. Now, Darius Slay, I'm told, expected to play with his knee injury.
Okay.
But here's the problem. If he has a setback, his backup right now is Jaquette.
Michael Jaquette.
He hasn't worked this week with a hamstring.
Yeah, because he's got a hamstring injury.
Yeah.
What they'll do is, I suspect what they would do is move Jalen Mills to the outside. If they
correct. Yeah, sure. But they're really stretching thin here on the outside. This is one of their major priorities next season. They got to add 2 outside corners and move Maddox back to the slot where he's great.
Right.
But it is what it is.
Is the kid for the Saints hurt? Deontay, he's there like the little speed demon that they got.
Oh, Deontay Harris. He's
Deontay Harris. Yeah.
I think he's got a chance to play. He'd been out for a bit.
Right. I can see him kind of giving the Eagles trouble if Mills would have to play the outside because that kid's a little bit of a jitterbug. I mean,
he had an unbelievable training camp, I'm told. Flash, and he's only been up till this season. He was a returner, but when Michael Thomas got hurt with his high ankle, and Emmanuel Sanders went on COVID, they were using him at receiver, and he did have a touchdown. He had one game maybe with 5 catches.
Yeah,
but he is like 5'5", 5'6", and But it's been interesting. We're getting in the matchups right now, Geoff. These matchups are
not
it's
favorable.
One of these situations you hope for the best. A lot of them do not favor the Eagles.
No, they don't. We will get into the matchups. First, make sure you're checking out phlsportsnation.com, covering the Eagles, Sixers, Phillies, Flyers, and the Union like nobody else. They have great coverage, great content, always enhancing the fan experience every time you check out their work. You can also see them on Twitter at PHL Sports Nation. So make sure you're checking them out, phlsportsnation.com. We'll pause real quick for another word from our sponsors, including our friends at Sky Motor Cars. All right, into the matchups we go. We start off as usual with the Eagles offense against this will be the Saints defense, the number 1 ranked Saints defense as far as yards allowed per game. I think they're 4th in scoring defense, so they are a true juggernaut on defense. Welcome to your first NFL start, Jalen Hurts. So here's the question I have, right,
sure,
Adam, and maybe we're just going to spitball here. Obviously, I knocked Doug for having Jalen Hurts in the game last week, but not really having much of a package for him, even though you knew you were probably going to be going to him at some point in the game. And without real – I mean, we know how practices are this year. You're not in the facility on Monday. You're not there Tuesday. You're in virtual meetings. And even Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, after practice, you're virtual. So I wonder if Doug is really just going to run the same offense with Jalen Hurts or if he's going to be able – to modify it to capitalize on Jalen Hurts' strengths.
It's completely different. It's going to be zone read or RPOs. Even how about Miles Sanders? You see what he said?
No,
he gave it. He's not giving out secrets. It's obvious. I mean, Jalen Hurts ran the ball over 16 times per game with Oklahoma last season. You know what's coming. Big time RPO offense. Just checking into it. He's a good hider of the football in the RPOs. He's really good at Jalen Hurts. I think he's better than Wentz with it, to be honest with you.
Right.
And Miles said that he thinks it's going to help their offense and their run game because he did a great job of explaining it. When you're worried about the RPOs with the zone read or however they're going to do it, you as a defense, you don't know if he's handing it off to the running back or keeping it. And it's the same with Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
And Taysom Hill on the other side.
Right.
Who runs a lot. So it's going to be fun. I think Miles is right. I think it does help the run game. Now, you're right. Statistically, the Saints and the Bucs are the number 1 run defense in the National Football League. It's next to impossible to run on them. I mean, 3.3 yards per carry. And Onyemata, 93, he's got a minor injury, but he is a stud. What a great find for them.
I don't know if people remember, but I reported that he was one of those free agents in the offseason that the Eagles had their eye on, but they wound up reeling in their bigger fish, which was
with Hargrave.
Good Onyemata, the way I understood it was like if we don't get Hargrave, we go after Onyemata. Or he was on their list. I know they like
Hargrave's a better pass rusher, but Onyemata is real underrated. And Malcolm Brown and Trey Hendrickson, who's having a breakout season. And one of my favorite players in the National Football League, Steve Jordan, not Steve, that's his dad. Cam Jordan, his dad Steve was a tight end, if you might remember, with the Vikings, and he is phenomenal. He is probably one of the top 5, top 7 DNs in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Dennis Allen's the head coaching candidate. He's done a great job. They had some rockiness in the first half of the season, but they've righted themselves with some mental errors that they had on defense, and they're playing great. Deep secondary. Quan Alexander's come over there and done a great job, and it's just going to be hard for Jalen Hurts. It's going to be hard for him. But if the RPOs are running well, they're going to have some plays where they don't get it. Like they got to get some plays where they have rules, obviously the linebackers do, but there are going to be some plays where they don't read it right. And again, they haven't. The Eagles have one benefit here. They haven't seen Jalen Hurts in the preseason. They don't have that tape. They don't have much tape to go on here. So
right.
This is the uniqueness of this game, and I cannot wait to see what they do here.
Yeah, Doug got sautéed from the fans this week when he said on
sautéed.
Was it Monday or Wednesday? I forget which day he said. Wednesday, I think, when he said he was asked, what he can do to help Jalen Hurts kind of get acquitted into the game despite going up against the offense. And he said, well, you can establish the run, you can get the quick game going, and everybody nearly fell out of their chairs reading that, saying, why wouldn't you do that for Carson Wentz?
Right, sure.
I think people got a little overboard on that. First of all, what Doug says in a press conference is not necessarily what happens on Sunday. So if you actually have to believe that he's going to run the ball more and run the quick game to really have a beef with it, first of all. And secondly, he was not sabotaging Carson Wentz. I mean, that is literally what people were trying to say. Like, you're not doing this for Carson, but you're going to do it for Jalen Hurts. I'm pretty sure Doug did not want to be 3-8-1 with his job on the line.
No, he's doing it because you have a rookie quarterback. Theoretically, it doesn't matter who the rookie is, whether the guy's a running quarterback, drop back, it doesn't matter. It's his first ever game. You don't ask the guy to drop back 40 times. Now, you may do that later if Jalen Hurts somehow becomes a starter in a couple years and he's handling it. Well, yeah, he might be a guy that you have high volume passing with. You don't know that right now, but you go in knowing what you know. The guy was a runner in college, particularly at Oklahoma, over 16 carries per game. You know what you're facing. You're facing a phenomenal defense, well coached, well executed. You're hoping because they don't have any preseason tape, you're gonna run some plays in your arsenal that you dialed up in the offseason when you didn't have the players, but it's Scangarello and this Briner guy. By the way, these are the kind of college plays these guys should be bringing in. There's no excuse to not have something ready that they haven't seen before. I mean, I swear to God, if this thing does. I understand they're playing a great defense, but then if they can't bring something in that they haven't seen before, shame on them.
I'm not expecting a whole lot out of him. I mean, I am expecting.
You have no confidence in this coaching staff.
I'm expecting a modified offense. Of course, I do think they're going to run more RPOs, and I do think they're going to use zone read. But as far as that, when it's 3rd and 6, it's going to be the same 4 verticals and one. I mean, and that's not good because the offensive line didn't get better overnight. So we'll see. My wish for whatever Doug does is that he figures out a way to put Jalen Hurts in 2nd and short and 3rd and short, manageable down and distances where you can use his athleticism and you can give him routes where he doesn't have to throw the ball 10 to 12 to 15 yards deep. But I don't have
honestly come out. No, one thing I do agree with based on you talk about what Pederson said. Goddard is a stud. Okay, this guy's got to get the football, and Ertz is back obviously. I mean, as we saw last week, he had 2 nice catches.
Yep.
I do agree with that assessment. Get it out of his hands quickly, get him comfortable, and let them run after the catch.
Yep.
And you know what? I understand he's a rookie, but you can't go in thinking that he can't throw the football. Let him throw it. I'm not saying he needs to throw the ball 40 times. I know they're going to run RPOs and all that stuff, but I would like to see on 1st down, throw the football quick out to the tight ends. Order our guy Greg Orders, terrific. Just get the ball out of his hands and get 5 yards on 1st down.
Yeah. And by the way, RPOs, you can, you can pass the ball on RPOs. They are
of course,
designed
it's a run pass option. Yeah,
it's a run. Yeah, Some people I think confuse read option with RPO.
No.
Which is obviously totally different. But all right, so running backs. We talked about Miles Sanders. I'd like to see. I would love to see. Maybe this is the week where we get to see him used in the pass game a little bit, where you can line him up on Malcolm Jenkins and
take advantage of that. I see what you mean. Yeah.
Take advantage of that matchup.
Yeah, and I hope that they don't. I hope they don't go with the belief that we don't want to give him a lot his first game. Hell with that. You got to win.
Yeah,
I agree with you. Look, I understand that the Saints linebackers are pretty good. They're smart. Demario Davis is one of my favorites. I covered him when he was at the Senior Bowl. I think he might have went to a small school. I'm not looking it up right now, but it might be Florida Atlantic or something like that.
Mm-hmm. He
was a last-minute call-up because somebody left the game early, and they went to his agent and wanted to know if he had any linebackers available. It's pretty funny. I was actually there for that personnel meeting. They were having it right in front of me, and that put him on the map. Him and Alfred Morris, ironically, they were there that year, and both were late ads. And Demario Davis is really good, does incredible work off the field. It's kind of bounced around a little bit. Remember with the Jets and the Browns and Saints. Good football player. Quan Alexander's a great acquisition.
Mm-hmm.
It was funny. They gave up the guy played for the Eagles in the Bills. And what's the kid's name? I'm drawing a blank here.
I can't. I'm also drawing it.
Embarrassing.
No.
Kiko Alonso.
Kiko. Right.
Yeah. And that's a heck of a trade because Kiko's not going to be he's probably not going to play this year anyway. We'll come back from his latest ACL injury. But they're a smart team, well coached, well executed. You're just going to have to come up with some stuff they haven't seen. I mean, I that they haven't put on tape before. That's your only chance you got here.
Yeah. Well, and this would be a nice game. Perhaps the quarterback change helps out this wide receiver development because it's getting, other than the really nice 34-yard catch that Rager had, it's really been difficult for these wide receivers to get anything going on within the construct of the offense. And Adam, I told you, what was it, earlier in the week when we did the tape review podcast, I said I just can't – I'm so disappointed in how vertical Doug's offense is, knowing that the offensive line is having trouble protecting. And then you build in these play fakes, which just takes up even more time, right? And how people are killing the wide receivers. But I see within the construct of the play that it's almost impossible for them to be able to win. I sent an email to a friend of mine who used to work in the league. He worked for 3 different teams as a scout, and asked him about all these vertical concepts. And I showed it to him. He saw the tape himself.
Yeah.
And he sent me a message back, and I'm just going to read it to you. He says, "What a mess those plays are. All the, quote, all-go special concepts of 3 verticals with a crosser are a staple for Andy forever," meaning Andy Reid's offense. But he wrote, "with no protection, no motion, and no one separating, those are rough." And he went on
for younger players too.
He went on to wonder if maybe they were running that because that's something Hurts was comfortable with in college, but we know that that's not the case. That he's been running that all year long.
They'll do it every week. I mentioned it 2 weeks ago. I said I'm sick and tired of seeing all the verts.
Yeah.
I mean, it's annoying. I mean, it's like, could you help these guys out? Could you guys? We started the show in 2018. I talked about the lack of checkdowns from Wentz, and there were certain things about the Eagles' offense that bothered me. That was one of them. But the other thing is, and they did it last year. Greg Cosell's talked about it 100 times. You got to help your receivers out. If they're not getting open against man, help them out.
Yeah,
they don't do that.
Yeah, and I think something we hit on earlier in this year, or even going back to last year, that has become painfully obvious is the predictability of a lot of the calls, a lot of the routes that D-backs know what's coming. I mean, even the verticals themselves are, they're usually, vertical down the seams, maybe comebacks on the outsides, or 3 verticals with a deep over. You're starting to see that like over and over from this, maybe a different guy, but it's the same concept, and it's not working. And unfortunately, I do think the Eagles have become predictable as we've already discussed. So it'll be on Doug to kind of spice this thing up. And they're going to have to if they have. And you're talking about the best defense.
Pre-snap motion. I want to see. They had a couple last week.
Mm-hmm.
This should be. Why are so many teams running pre-snap motion? And the Eagles, okay, well, it's not part of what we do, but it's not really what we do.
Yeah, I don't know. We ask this a lot. It's amazing. It's really crazy.
I don't know what to say. I throw my hands up. I don't know what to say anymore.
All right. Do you want to move on from the offense and get into the defense?
Yeah. I mean, the only other thing is, just before we move on here, is offensive line They're real stout against the run, as we said.
Yeah.
Eagles offensive line, it's got to do a better job. Now, they're playing with a rookie quarterback. I understand that. Help him out. Protect him when he drops back. Hurts has got to hang in the pocket. He does. Cosell's tape study showed it because he only goes by what he sees, and I saw it in training camp.
Mm-hmm.
He does have a tendency to go one read and run.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you what, there was one practice I was blown away with the way he threw the football. When he hung in there, he does have velocity on it. Now, he's an over-the-top thrower.
Mm-hmm.
Senior Bowl week was not good for him. That might have hurt his. Now, again, I know the Eagles took him in the second, but the Eagles were not going to take it. I mean, the Eagles draft, their grade clearly was not in the second round. If you just read between what I mean is, if you saw all the interviews, and Howie Roseman did one, what's interesting with John Clark after the draft.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where they had him. Maybe they had him in the third. But the fact of the matter is, this is the guy they wanted. They were not going to let anyone steal him, because Roseman talked about in that interview where they missed on Russell Wilson. So they clearly like this guy.
Yes,
they clearly like this guy.
Yeah, but again, that's not an apple. They didn't, at least to my knowledge, they didn't think that they were getting Russell Wilson and Jalen Hurts. It was more that they didn't want to lose a guy that they really liked. That was
exactly. But they knew then that they screwed up because what happened was they didn't think anybody else wanted Russell Wilson like they did. So this kid they clearly liked. And again, I don't know exactly. Let's just say they had a third round grade. Okay, I mean, if you read between the lines, they clearly didn't have a second. Just all the information that all their interviews and it's just about they like the guy. Okay, well, this is something we'll talk about more in January and February, but they just made sure they got him. So I want to see them use him in a special way here because this guy's got some ability. He can throw the ball. He's a rookie. I understand it, but two schools really liked him: Oklahoma and Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, if Nick Saban liked him, the guy's gifted. I understand that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You and I talked, before we move on here, you and I talked to a bunch of teams that had a 4 on him.
Yeah.
Clearly, the Eagles had a higher grade than that. We don't know exactly where it was, but I have a hard time believing it was a 2. I just feel like they were not going to get hosed and not get the guy, and we'll see if they're right.
Yeah. You know where I was. I said, that you don't correct a mistake by making another mistake, but that's just my premature feeling on it. If he winds up becoming a good player, either a really good backup, a good starter, a good gadget player, I don't know, then maybe we'll all be proven wrong. Although I will say, even if he does wind up contributing, you've lost a lot this year alone by not getting that much out of him nor your third-round pick. So
I agree. And
there's collateral damage already in this, in that decision.
Yes.
So.
And yeah, Davion Taylor, by the way, put on injury reserve a couple days ago. But
Right.
No, that's why I said, why the hell were they not playing? It's almost like I'm not saying Pederson didn't want to play him.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like they never had a discernible plan for this guy.
Right.
You knew what the skill set was.
Yep.
I'm not saying he's as talented as Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill's a superior athlete.
Mm-hmm.
But this kid was terrific last season running the football. And he's
sure.
got arm strength.
Talent.
If you're gonna use him, this is not even about this game anymore because now he's a starter.
Right.
But if you're going to use a guy, have a goddamn plan for the guy.
Amen.
I'm complaining. I don't know.
Amen to that. All right, we'll break down. We'll switch sides and break down.
Doug bothers me. I got my pet peeve list. We're going to have these probably for a week. Once they're eliminated, we're going to have a pet peeve list. I got so many, I can't take it any longer.
I can't wait.
Blow my ears out.
It'll be the airing of the grievances episode.
Yes. Hey, by the way, when is is Festivus Christmas?
Festivus to the rest of us. I think so. Yeah, it's like in that Christmassy area, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember whether they put it on. But anyway, we're definitely going to. That's a great point. We're going to get a poll. We're going to get a Festivus poll. We're going to have a Pederson poll of air of grievances. Yes.
Festivus is the day before Christmas Eve. It's like Wednesday.
I thought so. Yeah, that's why I was asking. Yeah. I can't remember what the hell it is. So anyway, we got it.
We'll be there.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to the defense against the offense first as I fiddle around here and look for the read that I'm supposed to do. Oh, yeah. Our friends at DraftKings. DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is wishing you the happiest of holidays. And to kick off the season of giving, DraftKings has new promotions and odd boosts every day this week. Lucky for us, sports fans, there is an abundance of action taking place this week. You got football teams in the hunt to secure their place in the playoffs, while college basketball is just getting underway, and there's no better place to get in on all of the action. If you haven't tried DraftKings Sportsbook yet, head to the App Store now because you don't want to miss this. DraftKings Sportsbook is giving all new players the chance to earn a sign-up bonus up to $1,000 when signing up using promo code ITB. DraftKings Sportsbook has endless ways for you to bet, from live betting to betting on your favorite players. They do it all. To celebrate this weekend's UFC 256, DraftKings is giving all MMA fans who sign up now the chance to triple their winnings when placing any bet on UFC 256. DraftKings is safe, reliable, and secure, making it easy for you to deposit and withdraw your money at your convenience. So download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code ITB when you sign up and get up to $1,000. That's code ITB to get a deposit bonus up to $1,000 for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older, Pennsylvania only, in partnership with Meadows Racetrack and Casino. Bonus comprised of a first deposit bonus. Deposit bonus required 25 times playthrough. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, Adam, I feel like this is a chance for the Eagles defense to make a statement, provided that the offense is better and kind of gives them a little bit of a break here and there. I mean, that's yet to be proven. I don't know if the offense can get any worse, but this is a Saints offense. I know, right? That's why I do assume the offense will be better.
Saints offense isn't great. I mean, Taysom Hill's getting better as a passer.
Right.
A little rocky at the early going. Now they're giving him more volume passing. You know, the craziness was the Denver game. You know, obviously he didn't have to do anything.
Right. And they still scored 31 points or something.
Yeah, and he ran the ball 14 times last week. He's explosive. He's built like a tank, but he's really got great quickness. Actually, I'm glad this game is not on turf, because man, he really could run on turf.
Yeah. Gonna be a lot of running quarterbacks in this game. It's gonna be
it's cool, man. I just think it's cool. Look, the numbers tell you where you're going to go here. If you're Sean Payton, you can run the football on the perimeter against the Eagles, because the Eagles against running quarterbacks are awful for the most part. They're good generally against running backs, true running backs. You got to expect that they're going to have RPOs in this game, because the Eagles always struggle going the wrong way, not reading their keys, the linebackers. But yet, for 3.5 quarters, they're pretty good against running backs. And here's a strange thing. I don't know if you probably noticed this, especially if you play fantasy. Kamara's not getting the ball at all in the pass game with Taysom Hill. He's not checking it down to him at all for whatever reason. It
killed my fantasy team, to be honest.
Yeah, I know I'd bring it up. And it's great for the Eagles now. It doesn't mean they won't do it this game. No,
and you make a point to watch out for the RPOs, and I would say also watch out for a read option, because as we've seen with Daniel Jones and we've seen with Lamar Jackson.
Oh, read that end.
Yep. Read that crashing end and go ahead and go. And I was surprised they didn't do it more with Mayfield, just because he can run a little bit. Not like those guys.
Right.
But they have that perfect offense, right? Because they run the ball so well that you get that crashing from the DNs. I thought maybe you would see a few keepers from Mayfield. You only saw one.
Back many years ago when the Saints defense was terrible, they were asking Drew Brees to throw the ball 38 to 43 times a game, somewhere in that area. But then what happened was they rebuilt their defense for the draft. They just, for many years, they were awful drafting defense. Now they're one of the best. I mean, you're going to see guys like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, who's terrific. Lattimore's a stud. He's kind of handled his hamstring issues fairly well. Onyemata, who we talked about. Trey Hendrickson's been a surprise to me. Malcolm Brown they brought over for New Orleans. Patrick Robinson's been in and out of the lineup. You know, he was bad last year, got hurt. He had a start last week for Janoris Jenkins. Now Robinson's hurt. Marcus Williams and all these, they even when they're without a corner, they're so deep in the secondary, it doesn't really seem to hurt them. They're really well coached, well schemed. Sheldon Rankins is back off of IR.
Yeah, good play.
They just, you can't run on this team. So again, you're going to have to give them disguise and give them something. But the Saints offense, man, they're fun to watch. They run all sorts of crossers. One of my favorite players ever is Emmanuel Sanders. Now, he was doing really well with Michael Thomas was out. Now that Thomas is back, he's not getting the ball a lot. Traquan Smith is playing a 3-receiver sets. Sanders, you'll see a lot. Sanders and Thomas you'll see in the slot. Thomas does not run that well. He's just really tough and really, really savvy. Just keep him in front of you. There's no reason for him to get deep. He doesn't run that well. But the guy that scares me for the Eagles, number 87, he might be 33 going on 34 in April. Jared Cook, who scored last week.
He can get vertical for a tight end.
Yep.
And you saw last week, Tunyon got him. When Aaron Rodgers got out of the pocket, now you have to worry about another quarterback who can get out of the pocket and throw it. A tight end who can get vertical against those linebackers. And as you're saying, as we pointed out, I don't know if TJ Edwards is really 100%. He's not practicing this week. They expect him to play. If he's not in, he's probably not going to be a nickel. It's probably going to be Alex Singleton and Duke Riley anyway.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
That doesn't inspire that much more confidence. I mean, those guys can get beat in the pass game by a lot of good players. So, yeah, that's a matchup of concern. I tell you, I'm not as concerned. I know everybody's on high alert now because of the last 2 weeks, but as great as Mike Thomas is as a wide receiver, he's a little bit different. And their whole offense is a little bit different, as you were just mentioning, stylistically than what Green Bay and what Seattle do. Mike catches a lot of passes in rhythm, in stride. He's got strong hands. Like, he doesn't beat guys, 20, 25 yards down the field a whole lot. So I don't think you're going to see the type of slay effort that you've seen last 2 weeks where he's just struggled. I know Mike is strong and physical, but he's just not like a Devontae Adams. And I'm not trying to minimize
right.
He's just a different kind of wide receiver.
He's a leverage player.
Yeah.
You rarely see him run deeper routes. It's generally 15 yards and in. He will run after the catch, but he's a big first down guy.
Yeah.
He's big in the red zone. By the way, their offensive line's tremendous. The only Teron Armstead's back off the COVID list. James Hurst was starting for him, so he's back. Andrews Pete's good. McCoy's good. Nick Easton, who can play center and guard, he's playing right guard. Ramczyk, the right tackle, has been a good draft pick for him.
Yeah,
they're
good offensive line.
Yeah, Pete Carmichael, who helps Sean Payton out, is a really smart guy. He's the OC. He doesn't call a play. Sean does, but he's great in helping Sean game plan and design. And Adam Troutman's going to take Cook's job in a couple of years. He was a draft pick this year, tight end, number 82. You're going to see him. Josh Hill comes in because he's their blocking tight end. They don't really change much. They're just great formationally, and he's another space creator, Sean Payton. Boy, does he create space for these guys to get open. He's just a tremendous play designer.
Yep.
Folks, when you watch this game, you may not see it off TV. It's hard. Watch how many in-breakers they have. They have so many in-breaking routes. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and you mentioned the crossers and the rubs. They'd probably do that as well as anybody in the league. Sanders is great at that. Yeah, this is going to be a difficult – it's weird. They're not an explosive team, but they're just very, like you mentioned, well-schemed, and their skill position players are good at what they do, whether it's Sanders, whether it's Kamara, whether it's Mike Thomas. Sometimes when we go into the year, I think this team doesn't have that much offensively compared to a team like the Steelers or the Chiefs, but they figure out a way to make it work. They are probably the most complete team in the NFL. We already talked about their number one defense.
I picked the Saints-Chiefs Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's a good pick. That's a good pick.
Still think it happens? Well, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I still think Green Bay, for whatever reason, will come out. But
defense
you're right.
isn't good enough. Green Bay's defense will never be good enough with that scheme. It's funny though. They might be more talented than the Saints on defense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think their scheme's all that good. But when you look,
the Saints have been better than who they've lost to in the playoffs for 3 straight years. So.
Oh yeah. No, what happened last year is Mike Zimmer put a special front in, and they had no idea what, because they never seen it before. This is the problem with when you play a team and they don't show you something on tape, you couldn't prepare for it.
Right.
But right now, you make a great point. Their most complete team. That's the best way to put it. Their most complete team in the National Football League.
Yeah.
The one guy, the Eagle killer, Traquan Smith, who crushed them.
He does crush them, man.
He's tall and he can run. He's their one designated deep threat. He had a touchdown last week. Good football player. He's a good football player.
Do they still have the kid from Temple, Kirkwood?
Keith Kirkwood Highway. No, he's with
Kirkwood Highway.
Yeah, that's what I call him because he's a Temple guy. But
is that that's a Delaware reference? Is it not?
Yeah. Well, actually, it's a Kirkwood High. Yes, in Delaware. Yes. But that's how I come up with funny names to remember guys' names because I can't remember all of them. I have so many 80,000 names in my head.
But
I come up with something to make you remember. So I call him Keith Kirkwood Highway. Yeah. You know what the funny part about that Keith Kirkwood is?
What's that?
I remember talking to personnel guys. Temple really never talked about him because when scouts go into schools, I had a couple guys go into their school and tell me they barely mention him. And he did pretty well as was it undrafted rookie?
I believe he had a touchdown against the Eagles in that 41-7 route.
Oh, did he? Yeah, he's with Matt Rule now, and he was in Carolina.
Of course, everybody who went to Temple.
Of course, I know.
Yeah, Alan Thompson, and you got PJ Walker out there. Yeah, you got them all.
Yep.
Robbie Anderson, Temple South. All right. Well, big shout out to Newcastle County. We just big up them right there with Kirkwood Highway. All right. Let's get to our favorite part of this. This is the prediction time. Now, before I get into the DraftKings line and spread, we will have our daily fantasy league link out sometime later this week.
Ooh, so I got a good one. Oh, it's out. No, it's out.
Oh, it's out already?
Oh, yeah. I filled my lineup out. Yeah.
I'll tweet it out, and I'll tweet it out when I get a chance. I may not have done that yet. So make sure you get in on it. Try to beat me and Adam. I'm determined. I put extra time into my lineup this week. I think I got a good one. So we'll have to see.
I'm going to use my friend John Hansen, his site, fantasypoints.com. I'll contribute to. I'm going to they do a DFS article, and John's rankings are really damn good. Mm-hmm. I'm going to probably use his rankings and find some values. I tried Trubisky last week. Oh,
that's not.
He played well, but from an NFL standpoint,
I think that's overthinking it a little bit.
I know you're right. You're right.
All right. Well, DraftKings, our friends at DraftKings have the Eagles as 7-point home dogs. I can't remember a year in which the Eagles were not only home dogs so often, but also by 7 or more, like one possession or more home dogs. But here they are getting 7 points from the Saints. They predict a low-scoring game with a total of 43. All right, Adam Caplan, the time is yours. Who wins this game? What's the score?
Saints 23, Eagles 13. Yeah, I most likely will not pick. I haven't picked the Eagles in a while.
Right.
And I probably will not unless the Dallas game maybe.
Right.
But listen, if Hurts shocks the world, I'm not saying wins, but just plays well, I'd feel better about them winning more games. I'm just assuming I'm not quite as pessimistic as you are with the play calling, although you're right. You should think that way.
Why the hell are you not?
I know. No, but look, I'm only giving them 13 points.
Well, that's true.
But I do think there are going to be a couple plays you go, wow, I didn't expect that. Something will happen. He'll make a play that you don't expect because he's a rookie. And again, they can only go back to – it's funny. The Eagles are probably putting their game plan together with the Oklahoma tape, and the Saints are going back to look at the Oklahoma tape.
Yeah, probably. That's really funny.
I'm sure they have to. Of course, probably they have to, right?
So you're saying the Eagles are going to pull out all this great stuff, and the Saints are like, yeah, we knew that was coming.
but again, this is where Briner, these guys, they bring these college coaches. Scangarello used to coach in college. He also was coaching the pros.
Right.
Guys, and Press Taylor, let's bring some stuff out there. Come on now. Let's go.
Right. All right. So 2 weeks ago, Adam, I predicted the Eagles to beat the Seahawks. And if you remember, my rationale on that was kind of the whole law of averages. They had never beaten Russell Wilson. I just thought that was going to happen, and they didn't win. And then they went and lost to the Packers. So now they've lost, 5 straight, is it now? Is it 5 straight?
Well, they only have 3 wins, and it's been – they beat Dallas as their last win. So
Right, exactly. So I am going to go with a little bit law of averages and a little bit of I think the Saints are ripe for the plucking here. Because,
oh, my God.
Because they're not playing on turf. They're not with Drew Brees. If Drew Brees were starting, I would probably –
It is outdoors. Okay. It is
outdoors. Outdoors. And I think there's going to be a little spark from Jalen Hurts. So, like I said, I don't think the offense is going to be worse than it's been. So I'm going to give them a little bit more than the 17-21 that they've been getting. I'm going to say the Eagles get 23 and the Saints get 21. The Eagles are going to win this game.
I will – no. Oh, my God. Oh my God!
That hard? Like you really can't? No chance, huh?
No. I'm sure they'll get a spark because it's the backup quarterback. That's just the way it generally works with teams. But if they were going against a lesser opponent, I'd say, you know what, you might be onto something. But it would be kind of nice. Not that I root for anyone, but it'd be kind of nice to see them play a good offensive game. I just don't see it. If I believe in their ability to call plays this year, I would agree with you. Mm-hmm. But I just don't. It's funny. I'm encouraging them to do better, but I'm with you. What you were saying a couple of minutes ago. I just don't believe in their ability to call plays. I just don't. Well, they've had an awful year.
That's fair. I didn't tell you how they're getting 23 points.
Oh, game plan too. That's
2 intercept, 2 fumbles for a touchdown. I don't have any faith in the offense.
Let me clarify that. Right. It's and we don't talk about this enough. Shame on me. It's the game planning during the week. They clearly have not game planned very well this season. We could talk all we want about the injuries and all that, and I get it. But you know what you have in personnel. Do a better job during the week game planning. Okay? You got to do a better job. And you and I have outlined, and a lot of people have watched their tape. What do you do to help your receivers? We could talk all we want about how young they are, and then they this, that, and the other. They don't get open enough. What the hell are you doing to help them?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I don't know how they're going to get 23. They may have to return to a punt and return a fumble. But
one thing, Jalen Reagor, we didn't talk real quick. That speaks to it. I want to see Reagor use him in a special way. Okay, he opened some eyes last week. That catch on that 38-yarder was awesome. How he leveraged the Kevin King.
Yeah, 34. But yeah, it was very good.
Yeah, that whatever that was. Yeah, so do that. I'll get this guy an end arounds. I know one worked, one didn't work. Keep using him in a special way, man. This kid's gifted. Let's go.
I agree. Put the ball in his hands. Let him get into the flow of the game. I totally agree with you on that. It would be nice to see. And maybe he's got some rapport with Jalen Hurts where you might see that more so than you were seeing with Carson Wentz. I don't know, but we'll talk about it more on Sunday on our pregame show. Remember, it starts at 10 a.m. Adam Caplan, Geoff Mosher, Greg Cosell, Trey Thomas, Inside the Birds, pregame live, coming to you from Pino's Palette. And that will do it for this edition of Inside the Birds, the leading podcast in Eagles Intel. Thanks to our producer, Hunter Brody. Check out his work on YouTube. His channel is called Sports Talk with Broads. And check him out on Twitter, @Broads81. And as always, we thank you for flying with us inside the Birds.